The huge chamber on Zorath Prime felt cold and endless. Bright lights shone from the high ceiling, and a giant round table sat in the middle. Around the table were seats for many different alien species. Some looked like tall insects with shiny shells. Others were made of glowing crystal that changed color when they spoke. A few floated in bubbles of blue energy. All of them watched the center with calm old eyes. In the middle stood John Harper. He was a man from Earth, from the city of Chicago. He wore a simple dark suit. His face was calm, but his hands stayed steady at his sides. For many years, Earth had asked to join the Galactic Council. Humans had learned how to travel faster than light. They had built strong ships and found ways to heal almost any sickness. They had explored far stars without starting big wars. Now John was here to speak for all of Earth. He looked up at the council members. "People of Earth, thank you for this chance," he said in a clear voice. "We bring gifts of knowledge and peace. Our doctors can save lives across many worlds. Our engines can help your ships move faster and use less fuel. We want to share, not take." A tall Vixari delegate named Lyrath stood up. His body sparkled like broken glass under the lights. "Humans are young," he said. His voice sounded like wind through ice. "You come from a wet, stormy world full of danger. Your history has many fights. Even if you are quiet now, we fear what you may do later." John did not get angry. He nodded once. "We know our past. We learned from it. For a long time now, we have chosen peace. We solved our problems with words, not weapons. Give us a chance to prove it here." Next, a large Krell named Gorb spoke. He was like a giant bug with 6 arms. His mandibles clicked as he talked. "You move fast, too fast. You build colonies without asking. You take resources from places we marked as protected. Your kind does not wait for rules." John answered without pause. "Those places were empty. No one lived there. We did not harm any life. We only used what we needed and left the rest clean. Our rules are fair. We can show you the records." The council members talked among themselves in low voices. Lights flashed on their seats to show they were thinking. Hours passed. John stood still the whole time. He did not sit. He did not drink water. He just waited. At last, the head of the council, an old being named Ilara from the Lumen race, rose. She looked like a tall woman made of soft white light. "We have voted," she said. Her voice was gentle but final. "Earth is not ready. Your energy is strong, but it is wild. You may bring change too quick. We say no to your membership. You will stay outside our protected zones." A quiet sound went through the room. Some aliens nodded. Others looked away. John Harper stood there for a moment. He looked at each face around the table. Then he gave one small bow. "I hear your choice," he said. "Earth respects it." He turned and walked to the door. His steps were slow and even. No one stopped him. No one spoke again. The big doors opened with a soft hiss, and he stepped out into the wide hallway. Outside, 2 human aides waited. One was a young woman named Emily Grant. The other was a man named Robert Klein. They had come with John, but they stayed quiet during the meeting. Emily looked at him. "What happened?" John kept walking. "They said no." Robert frowned. "Just like that? No second vote? No talk?" "Just like that," John said. He did not sound sad or mad. His voice was flat, like he was reading a list. They reached the shuttle bay. A small Earth ship waited there, clean and silver. It was not fancy like the council ships, but it was fast and strong. The pilot, a woman named Karen Lee, started the engines. As the ship lifted off Zorath Prime, John sat by the window. He watched the planet shrink below them. Stars filled the black sky outside. Emily sat next to him. "Back home, people will be upset. They worked hard for this." John looked at her. A small smile touched his lips. It was not a happy smile, but it was not bitter either. Maybe some will be upset, but most will understand. Robert leaned forward. Understand what? That the old ones think we're not good enough? John shook his head. No, that we don't need their table to sit at. We have our own path. The ship jumped into faster-than-light travel. Colors swirled around them for a second. Then space became calm again. They were on the way home. John pulled out a small tablet. He typed a short message and sent it to Earth. It said only this: "We move forward our way." He put the tablet down and looked out the window again. Far away, stars waited. New worlds waited. Humans had already started building there, quiet and steady, without asking permission from anyone. Back on Zorath Prime, the council room was silent now. Lyrath turned to Gorv. They took it well. Too well. Gorv clicked his mandibles. They will complain later. They always do. Ilara watched the door where John had left. "I am not sure," she said softly. "Humans do not act like others. When we close a door, they do not bang on it. They find another way." The crystal being Lyrath made a low hum. "They are young. They will learn their place." Ilara did not answer. She only looked at the empty spot where John had stood. Something in her old light flickered, like doubt. Far from Zorath Prime, the Earth ship flew on. John Harper closed his eyes for a moment. He thought of home, of blue oceans, green forests, and cities full of people who never gave up. He thought of the colonies already growing on distant worlds. He thought of the plans hidden in secret files. A quiet grin crossed his face. They had said no. Humanity grinned. The shuttle landed softly at the New York spaceport on a clear morning. Tall buildings reached into the sky, and ships of every size moved above them like quiet birds. John Harper stepped out first. Cool air touched his face. He breathed deep and felt the familiar smell of earth, metal, rain, and green trees from the nearby park. A car waited for them. Inside sat President Laura Bennett. She was a woman with short gray hair and kind eyes. She had led Earth for 6 years. Next to her were Daniel Ruiz, her main advisor, and Karen Thompson, who handled science and space matters. They all looked serious, but not afraid. Laura shook John's hand as he sat down. "Welcome home," she said. "Tell us everything." John looked at each of them. The council said no. They called us too young, too wild, too fast. They will not let us join. Daniel leaned forward. "Did they give reasons we can fight?" John shook his head. "They said our history worries them. They fear we will change things too much. They want control. We do not fit their rules." Karen crossed her arms. "So they shut the door." "Yes," John said, "but they did it politely." Laura stared out the window for a moment. The car moved through the busy streets. People walked below, living normal lives. None of them knew yet. "What do we do now?" she asked quietly. John smiled a little. "Not big, but real. We do what we always planned to do if this happened. We walk our own road." Back at the United Earth Assembly Building, they went into a secure room high up. Big screens showed maps of stars. Red lines marked the zones the Galactic Council controlled. Blue dots showed places humans had already reached, quietly, without telling anyone. William Carter waited there. He was tall, with a short beard. He ran the Extraterrestrial Development Agency. His team had built the hidden programs for years. "We can start today." Laura sat at the head of the table. "Show us." William touched a screen. A map grew bigger. "We have 32 colony worlds outside Council space. Most are small, but growing. 10 mining stations pull rare metals from dead planets. 5 research bases test new engines. And 3 big shipyards build vessels that do not need Council approval." Daniel looked surprised. "We have that many already?" "Yes," William said, We started them 10 years ago, just in case. Karen pointed to a yellow circle far from the red lines. What about Haven 4, the one with the big ocean? William nodded. Haven 4 has 2 million people now. Farms, schools, hospitals. They grow food for other colonies. No council taxes, no council rules. John spoke next. The council thinks we are weak because we asked to join. They do not know we prepared to leave. Laura looked around the room. If we go forward alone, we break no laws. The council never owned those stars. But they will watch us. They will talk. Maybe they will try to block our trade. Then we find new friends, John said. There are many species the council ignores. Small groups, traders who move between systems, exiles who lost their homes. They need partners who treat them fair. Daniel rubbed his chin. And our people? Will they accept this? Many wanted to join the council. They dreamed of sitting at that dig table. Laura stood up. Let me talk to them. That afternoon she spoke to the whole world. Cameras showed her face on every screen, in every home, on every ship. Her voice was calm and strong. Today the Galactic Council said no to Earth. They think we are not ready. They think we need their permission to grow, but we do not. We are humans. We came from one small world. We faced ice ages, wars, sickness, and dark times. Each time, we built something better. Now we have ships that cross the stars. We have medicine that saves lives. We have homes on other planets. We did this ourselves, not because someone allowed us, because we chose to. The council closed one door. That is fine. We have many others. From today, we stop asking for their seat. We build our own table. We invite those who want to sit with us on equal terms. We will not fight the council. We will not hate them. We will simply go forward. Our path is ours. Thank you. The speech ended. Silence filled the room for a second. Then cheers came from outside. People in the streets clapped and shouted. Ships in the sky sounded their horns. It was not anger. It was pride. In the secure room, William turned to John. Contingency orders? John nodded. Activate them all. Over the next weeks, things moved fast but quiet. Cargo ships changed their routes. They stopped at council ports, only when needed. Most supplies now went to human colonies or to friendly alien groups. New ships left Earth every day. Some carried families to new homes. Some carried machines to build more stations. Some carried scientists with ideas the council would never allow, things like changing gravity, growing food in deep space, linking minds with computers. One ship, the Dawn Runner, carried Stephen Morales. He was an engineer from Texas. His team had made a new kind of engine. It did not use normal fuel. It bent space in small jumps, faster and safer than anything the council had. He smiled as the ship left Earth orbit. No more waiting for permission, he said to his crew. At the same time, Lisa Nguyen worked from a station near Mars. She spoke to alien traders on hidden channels. We offer fair deals, she told them. No high taxes, no long waits. You bring goods, we bring goods. We both win. Many listened. Slowly new trade lines grew. Not big yet, but strong. On Zorath Prime, the council heard small reports. Humans move more ships, one aide said. They build in far places. Lirath, the crystal delegate, made a soft sound like breaking ice. Let them play in the dark. They will come back when they need us. Elara, the light being, watched the reports in silence. She remembered John's calm face when he left. She remembered his small bow. Something in her old glow felt unsure. On Earth, John Harper stood on a balcony one night. Stars filled the sky. He thought of the vote. He thought of the long walk out of that chamber. He thought of Laura's speech. A quiet grin came to his face again. They had said no. Humanity grinned and walked away. Years went by fast, after Earth chose its own path. The Galactic Council kept making more rules. They drew new lines on star maps. They put high taxes on trade between worlds. They sent big patrol ships to watch the safe zones. But humans stayed far away from those lines. They built in the quiet, empty parts of space. On a small moon called HFY, Stephen Morales stood in a huge workshop. Lights shone bright on metal floors. Workers in gray suits moved fast around new engines. Stephen wiped sweat from his face. He was testing the latest wormhole drive. It was small enough to fit in a normal ship, but strong enough to jump across half the galaxy in one go. "Fire it up," he said to his team. A low hum started. Blue light swirled in the test chamber. Space bent like a folded cloth. A small probe disappeared from one side and appeared on the other in less than a second. No shake, no heat, clean. The workers cheered. Stephen grinned wide. "Better than the last one. Send the plans to the other yards. We make these standard now." Far from HFY, on a green world named New Hope, Lisa Nguyen walked through a busy market. Aliens of many kinds filled the streets. Tall, thin traders with silver skin. Short, furry beings who spoke in cliques. A group of exiled pilots from a broken empire. They all came here because humans did not ask for papers or taxes. They just traded. Lisa stopped at a stall run by a quiet alien named Zorak. He sold rare crystals that could store energy. "Good morning," she said in his language. "How is business?" Zorak's 4 eyes blinked. "Better since you came. The council wants half my crystals for almost nothing. You pay fair price and let me keep my ship free." Lisa nodded. "We need those crystals for our new shields. Name your price." They talked for a while. Then Lisa bought a full load. She paid with human credits that many aliens now trusted more than council money. As she left, Zorak called after her. "Tell your people thank you. We remember who helped when the big ones turned away." Back on Earth, things changed too. Cities grew taller, but cleaner. New power plants used clean fusion that never ran out. Schools taught kids about stars from the first day. Young people dreamed not of joining the council, but of finding new worlds no one had seen. In a quiet office near the old United Nations building, William Carter looked at reports every morning. Numbers showed more colonies, more ships, more friends among the stars. He smiled when he read about the new trade deals. Small species who once hid from council ships now flew openly with human flags on their hulls. One day a message came from a far system. A group of nomads called the Driftkin asked for help. Their old ships were breaking down. They had no home world left. William sent 3 repair teams right away. No payment asked, just a promise to share stories and maps. When the teams returned, they brought gifts, strange songs recorded on crystal discs, drawings of lost nebulae, and thanks that could not be measured. William kept one drawing on his wall. It showed a human ship pulling a Driftkin fleet to safety. Under it, someone had written in simple letters, "Friends walk together." The council still watched from far away. Their spies sent small reports. Humans build fast. They share technology with outsiders. They ignore our borders. The old delegates listened, but did nothing big. They thought the humans would fail soon. Space was hard. Without council help, they would run out of something. Fuel, food, friends. But humans did not run out. They found new ways. Scientists on Haven 4 grew food in giant floating farms under artificial suns. Engineers on Edge 7 made ships from light metals that never rusted. Doctors found ways to make people live longer and stay strong. They shared these things with their allies first. Word spread through the quiet channels of space. If you treat humans fair, they treat you better. One evening on New Hope, Lisa Nguyen sat with a group of alien traders around a fire. Stars shone bright above. The air smelled of sweet grass. A young trader from a small moon race asked her, "Why do your people not fight the council? They close the door on you." Lisa looked into the flames. Fighting takes energy. We use our energy to build instead. If we fight, we lose time. If we build, we gain worlds. The young trader thought for a long time. Then he said, "Your way is strange, but it works." Lisa smiled. Strange can be good. Years turned into more years. Human space grew like a slow wave. Not loud, not fast like a storm. Steady like water finding its way. New colonies appeared on cold worlds, hot worlds, ocean worlds. Each one free. One day, a small council scout ship came close to a human mining station called Iron Reach. The scouts sent a message. "You are in a restricted zone. Leave or face penalties." The station leader, a woman named Maria Lopez, answered calm. "This system has no life. No one claimed it before us. We follow no restricted zones. Safe travels." The scout ship left without another word. They did not come back. Stories like that spread. More aliens listened. More came to trade. More asked to live near human worlds. Not because humans were strong in war, because humans were fair in peace. On Earth, John Harper walked in a park one afternoon. He was older now, gray hair, slower steps, but his eyes still sharp. He sat on a bench and watched children play. Above them, a passenger ship rose into the sky, heading for a new colony. A young man sat next to him. "Sir, are you Ambassador Harper?" "Just John now. I read about the council vote. My parents told me stories. They said you walked out calm, no anger." John looked up at the ship disappearing into clouds. "Anger does not build ships, or homes, or friends." The young man smiled. "We're doing okay without them, aren't we?" John's quiet grin came back. The same one from years ago. "Better than okay. We're doing it our way." Far out in space, a new wormhole opened. A fleet of human ships came through. They carried families, tools, seeds, dreams. Behind them stretched empty stars waiting to be touched. The council still sat in their big chamber on Zorath Prime. They talked of rules and order. But in the quiet corners of the galaxy, something new grew. Not loud, not angry, just steady. Humanity kept walking. A bright star, in the core of the galaxy, started to act strange. Scientists called it NS-47. It was a neutron star, small but heavy, spinning fast. One day it threw out strong waves of energy. Those waves hit trade routes used by many council worlds. Ships lost power. Stations went dark. Whole systems had no lights, no heat, no communication. Panic spread fast. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting on Zorath Prime. Delegates argued loud. Their big rescue fleets were slow to move. Rules said every ship needed papers and checks. Old engines broke under the strain. Days turned into weeks. People on distant worlds started to run low on food and air. Elara, the light-being leader, looked tired. Her glow dimmed a little. "We must ask for help," she said. "The humans have ships close to the edge of the trouble zone. They move fast. Their engines do not fail like ours." Lerath, the crystal one, made a sharp sound. "Ask the young ones, after we said no to them? They will laugh." Gorv clicked his mandibles. "They need us more than we need them. They will come if we offer something." Elara shook her head slowly. "No, we ask plain. No bribes, no promises, just the truth." They sent a message to Earth. It reached the Assembly in New York. President Daniel Ruiz read it in the same secure room where Laura once spoke. John Harper sat there too, older now, but still listening close. The message said, "Neutron star NS-47 disrupts core routes. Many systems in danger. Council requests aid from Earth vessels and engineers. We offer full cooperation and future talks." Daniel looked around the table. "They need us." William Carter crossed his arms. "After all these years, Funny how that works. John stayed quiet for a moment. Then he spoke soft. We help. But not for them. For the people caught in the dark. The traitors, the families, the small worlds who never voted against us. But we do it our way. No council flags on our ships. No joining their command. We go in, fix what we can, then leave. The order went out quiet. Fleets moved. Not big parades, just steady groups of ships painted plain gray and silver. They carried repair teams, extra power cores, food packs, and the new wormhole drives that could jump straight to trouble spots. Stephen Morales led one group. His ship, the Star Cutter, arrived first at a broken trade hub called Port Vale. Lights were out. Ships floated dead. People inside looked scared through the windows. Stephen sent a message on open channels. This is Earth Rescue. We bring power and parts. No payment needed. Open your bays if you want help. One by one, bays opened. Teams in white suits went across in small shuttles. They fixed engines. They linked new power lines. They gave food and clean water. No tallies of debt. A captain from a small species with blue scales came to thank Stephen. The council said help comes slow. You came fast. Why? Stephen shrugged. People need help. That's reason enough. Word spread quick through the dark zones. Humans are here. They fix things. They ask nothing. Lisa Nguyen flew to another system. She talked to station leaders who once traded only with council worlds. Now they asked her, can we join your network after this? We like your way. Lisa smiled. Doors are open if you treat others fair. Back on Zorath Prime, reports came in every hour. Human ships stabilized Sector 9. They repaired the main relay in 12 hours. No council ships matched their speed. Liraf stared at the screens. How? Their tech should not be better. Ilara watched in silence. They built it free. No rules holding them back. That is how. Weeks passed. The neutron star calmed. Power returned. Lights came on again. Trade ships moved once more. The council declared the crisis over. They sent thank you messages to Earth. Polite words, empty words. John Harper met a council envoy on a small neutral station near the edge. The envoy was a thin being with many eyes. He wore council robes. We thank Earth for its aid, the envoy said. The council wishes to discuss closer ties, perhaps observer status, or trade pacts. John looked at him calm. Thank you for the words, but we already have ties. With the people we helped, with the traders who now fly our routes, with the colonies we built, we are fine as we are. The envoy blinked fast. You refuse? John nodded once. We helped because it was right, not to buy a seat. You chose to keep us out long ago. We chose to keep going. That choice still stands. The envoy left quiet. No argument. Just empty hands. On the way home, John's shuttle passed a human convoy coming back from the core. Lights flashed friendly signals between ships. Families waved from viewports. Engineers laughed on open channels. John looked out at the stars. He thought of the day he walked out of the council chamber. He thought of Laura's speech. He thought of all the years in between. A small grin touched his face again. Not proud, not mean, just sure. Far away on a new human colony called Bright Edge, children played under two suns. They learned stories of old Earth. They learned stories of the council too. But mostly, they learned to build, to share, to walk forward. One girl asked her teacher, "Why did the big council not want us?" The teacher smiled. They were afraid we would change things. But change is how we grow. And we grew anyway. The girl looked up at the sky. Will they ever ask us again? But it does not matter. We do not wait for permission anymore. In the council chamber, Ilara stood alone after the others left. She looked at the empty seat where John once stood. Her light flickered soft. They did not beg, she whispered to the quiet room. They did not fight. They just walked. She turned off the lights and left. Outside, the galaxy turned slow. Human ships moved through it like threads in a new web. Not to rule, not to conquer, just to connect, to help, to live free. The crisis ended, but something else began. A quiet understanding. The old powers saw it now. Humans were not waiting at the door anymore. They had built their own house, and they invited the galaxy to visit, if it wanted. But they never needed to knock. Many more years passed. The galaxy kept turning. Stars burned steady. Worlds spun on their paths. But something had changed in the quiet spaces between them. Human names appeared on more maps now. Not as invaders, not as beggars, just as people who stayed, built, and shared. On Zorath Prime, the big council chamber looked the same. Tall seats, bright lights, old delegates still sat there, but fewer voices spoke with full confidence. Reports came in every week. Numbers showed human colonies growing, trade flowing free, new tech spreading to small species who once feared the council's rules. Ilara called a special meeting. She stood in her soft white light. "We must face facts," she said. "Earth's reach now matches ours in many sectors. Their ships cross distances we cannot match. Their people live longer. Their worlds thrive without our help. We must decide what to do." Lyrath sparkled angrily. "They ignore our laws. They trade with exiles. They refuse our offers. We should send ships. Show strength." Gorv clicked slow. "Send ships where? Their stations are far. Their fleets move quick. If we push, we may start a fight we do not want." A younger delegate, a soft-voiced being named Terran, spoke up. "Maybe we stop pushing. Maybe we ask again. Not as masters, as equals." Silence fell. Eyes turned to Ilara. She looked at the empty space where John Harper once stood. She remembered his calm walk out, his small bow, his quiet grin. "Send the invitation," she said at last. "Full membership, a high seat, honors, no conditions." The message flew across space. It reached Earth fast. In New York, President Daniel Ruiz opened it in the Assembly Hall. Screens showed the words clear. Many people watched. Some smiled. Some laughed soft. Daniel read it aloud. "The Galactic Council offers Earth full and permanent membership, seat at the HAL table, voice in all decisions, honors for past aid. We welcome you home." The room stayed quiet at first. Then a low chuckle started. It grew. Not mean, just amused. Like friends, sharing an old joke. Laura Bennett sat in the front row. She was retired now, hair fully white, but eyes still bright. She stood up slow. "They want us now?" she said. Her voice carried clear. "After all this time?" More laughter came, warm, easy. Daniel raised a hand. "Let us vote." They did not need long debates. Hands went up fast, one after another. No one said yes to the offer. All said no. Daniel wrote the reply himself. Short, plain. "Thank you for the offer. Humanity has chosen its own path." He sent it. No anger, no long speech, just truth. The message reached Zorath Prime. Ilara read it alone in her chamber. She let the words sit for a long time. Then she turned off the screen. Outside, the galaxy moved on. New colonies opened on worlds the Council once called too hard or too far. Families built homes under strange skies. Children grew up speaking many languages, Earth ones and alien ones mixed together. Traders from small species flew human routes safe and happy. Scientists shared ideas in open meetings, no secrets, no fees. John Harper lived on a quiet colony called Green Haven. He had a small house near a blue lake. Trees grew tall around it. Every morning he walked the shore. Birds sang. Wind moved soft. One day, a young woman visited. Her name was Mia Torres. She worked as a pilot on the new long-range ships. She brought a gift, a small crystal from a driftkin friend. It glowed warm when held. "I read about you," Mia said. "The day you walked out of the council hall. People still talk about it." John took the crystal. He turned it in his fingers. Light danced inside. "That was long ago," he said. Mia sat on the grass. "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if they said yes back then?" John looked across the lake. Sun sparkled on water. "Sometimes, but not much. If they said yes, we might have sat at their table, followed their rules, waited for permission. We would be smaller now. Safer maybe, but smaller." Mia nodded slow. "We're not small anymore." "No," John said. A quiet grin came to his face, the same one from years ago. "We're not." Ships passed overhead sometimes, silent, graceful. They carried people to new places. They carried hope. On one ship, Stephen Morales stood on the bridge. He watched stars slide by. His wormhole drive hummed soft. A crew member asked, "Sir, do you think the council will try again?" Stephen laughed. "Maybe, but it does not change our course. We fly where we want, help who we can, live how we choose." In another part of space, Lisa and Wen met with leaders of 3 new species. They sat in a garden under purple skies. They talked of trade, of schools, of peace. No one mentioned the council. It felt far away, like an old story. Back on Zorath Prime, Ilara walked the empty halls one night. Lights dimmed low. She stopped at a window. Stars filled the black outside. Somewhere among them, human lights glowed steady. She thought of the vote long ago, the fear of change, the choice to close the door. She thought of the crisis they could not fix alone, the aid that came without strings, the refusal that followed. A small sound came from her, like a sigh made of light. "They did not need us," she whispered, "and because they did not need us, they became more than we ever imagined." She turned away from the window. The stars kept shining. On Greenhaven, John Harper sat outside his house as night fell. Stars appeared one by one. He thought of Chicago streets, of the council chamber, of ships rising from Earth, of faces he knew who were gone now, of new faces he would never meet. He smiled soft. Not because they won over anyone, not because they proved a point, just because they lived free, because they chose their steps, because when a door closed, they did not stop, they walked on. Humanity grinned, not loud, not proud, just sure, and walked away, farther, always farther, into the wide dark, where no one told them what they could or could not do, where the only rules were the ones they made together, and the only limit was the next star waiting to be touched.